What is this? Hi. Hmm. Hmm. It says something. It says worthless degrees versus STEM. Science, technology, engineering, and math. Bradley Riddler. All right, let's see. This, let's, what is this? What is this?
So, why did I make this talk? Well, I made this talk because there's a lot of confusion on the internet about, where the jobs are at. People, mainly high school students, wonder about that, and that's why I made this presentation to give them some honest advice on what kind of things they should be looking at when they want to
Honest
pursue a
advice.
career. So let's move
Great.
on. A lot of these ideas in this presentation are borrowed from a book called Aaron Clarey's Worthless.
Great.
Aaron Clarey is a blogger. He blogs on, I think, Captain Cap. Just Google Cap.
Worthless. What is it? It says worthless, and then the peace sign and the hammer and the sickle. I mean, moon worship and masonry. And what is this? The cube, the black cube. What is this? Who knows? The young person's indispensable or to choosing the right major. Worthless. Okay.
Captain Capitalism, and you'll find him immediately. Um, but he was the one that really got to this little niche first of calling out how worthless a lot of college education is.
A lot or all of it? Wow! It couldn't be, right? It could not be. Because all education basically either sets you up to just bash at some level. And if you go to quote unquote higher education, then somehow you just bash at another level. Wow, who knew? What a shame. What a shame. And you have all these people just wanting everybody to bash on the same level. What does that even mean? What does that even mean? But of course, they just say, yeah, we could work with together and with our local community and blah, 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 blah. If they're all about local community and taking the power back somehow, what are they talking about? Anarchy? No, of course not. We still believe in government. We just want a little government. And yes, the people can just democratically just vote and vote and vote and vote and vote and vote again and time again and convene and reconvene and end and adjourn and session this, session that. Whoa, 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 whoa. My schedule is full. Wow, I feel so important. Wow. Shame. What a shame.
And his book is over here on the right over here. You can get it cheap on Amazon. Like I said, I borrowed several ideas from this book he makes some pretty astute points on a few of the pages.
Pretty astute, yes.
And much of what he says is true. I saw it myself in engineering school and in college in general.
Wow.
The only detractors are, he swears a bit much, a little too much, I think. And
Oh, could it be because he's saying, wow, I can't believe people think college is amazing. But the book probably just then says, oh, you're going to STEM because that's where the future is. Who knew that science, technology, engineering, and Harry Potter gibberish would be the tools of, you guessed it, the swarm? Because yes, you can say, well, what about all the medical advancements and this and that and the other? Oh, whoa, whoa. Wow, who knew that you could cut into somebody and take something out? Who knew? Who knew? But what does that say about knowing the flesh? You know how to cut it and open it and study it and then just mash, 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 all in the name of science. Wow, progress. Progress, yes, so much progress, and now we can defile and defile you somehow. But you gotta go to your doctor, otherwise you're lost. Or you're poor and we have to go rescue you. If you don't have a doctor, we have to go rescue you from your own life. Wow, what a shame. What a shame. And oh, there's so much disease and suffering everywhere. Wow, who knew that believing in S.T.E.M and all this stuff would create and perpetuate more past? Wow, who knew? Abandon some sense of creating a life for yourself. A life for yourself purely means you'll always be the meal that's whipped, that has a stick being held above its head and a string that goes down, and then whatever it is that you believe is right ahead, but you can't just quite do it. And even when you think you're making it and have made it, that just means that's right. You believe in it even more. Wow, who knew? Who knew that the light rewardeth if you just do what you want according to your image? Your bash, your bash, and ultimately your bash results in behavior, a relentless behavior. Not, oh, that guy said this and it hurt me, and therefore his behavior is this. No. Behavior as in your ritual life. What is it that you filter? And therefore, it's your ritual, meaning your behavior at all times. Because, yes, you can say, oh, I had a bad day, or, oh, we had a fight, or all this and that. But ultimately, something is behind all that behavior. Who knew? Who knew? Who knew? And it's not some guy riding an elephant and he's on top and then there's an observer. No, that's bash. It's about looking at how you live. How you live. What is the life? You don't know. You think you have to go and get some piece of paper that has a peace sign and then say yes and present that everyone to everyone trying to say, please, I'm worth something. I know how to do this bash. Give me some coins. Yes.
And a copy editor would do him a world of good. You know, the book has quite a few mistakes and typos in it, and Aaron sometimes he misuses words. But other than that, it's a really good.
So he just bashed this guy's, grammar. Whoa. But guys, it's still great. And he swears a lot. But ultimately, I agree with most of it. What is he saying? If Why did he have to say that bash before? He could just check it out for yourself. I agree with most of it. But he swears a lot. Bye. Whatever. What is he saying? He just typos or this, whole, blah, blah, blah. More spells. Enchantment.
Good book. I give it like 4.5 out of 5 stars. And
Wow.
you should probably pick it up. It's cheap on Kindle. So let's get into the talk now.
Because not only is he an engineer or something, he is also gives a 4 out of 5 because we already trust him, right? Of course we do.
So what is this thing called STEM, Dr. Brad? What are you talking about? You mean like plants? No, not at all. It's science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
Wow, see, he's educating you. Wow, who knew?
Um, why are those fields important? Well, there's the first one that's most relevant to you is that these are the career fields that are going to see the most growth and have the highest salaries.
Wow, who knew? Who knew? Who knew that somebody would go into university or college or whatever bash, higher education of some sort, to not get a low paying job? I mean, you can go into fields that have few, members, so to say, or going to fields that, there's more people in or whatever. But ultimately, certain fields within higher education or sectors, and then in sectors apartment, I mean, it's very, you can say, oh, yeah, it's very diverse, this and that. But ultimately, all these fields have a artery that feeds them financially. And you go into fields thinking you're going to just pick your own, you know, thesis and this and that, get the job of your dream where you're going to go and be studying and wow, you're just going to be. No, I mean, it's already there. It's fun, funding does not go to just everyone who has a, PhD in science and has an idea. They could be amazing ideas or whatever, but they will not get funding if there's no supposed interest or priority. They triage, but it's triage to keep itself alive, not to supposedly make life for you better. No, absolutely not. So a lot of people, see this and get bashed, the first few years after they're graduating, they're seeing this and they get their jobs, and ultimately they just end up working for some other corp, a corp or a lab that gets funding when you not might not have even had interest in certain research, but you need the job and blah blah blah, and eventually you think things will open up and funding will come in, this and the other. No, what is this? Okay, certain, and these four areas are the ones that. Why do you think they've cut arts and all these other courses that they used to in middle school and high school? Would it be so that perhaps there would be a severance in interest, so all of a sudden you don't have that in middle school or high school, and then you absolutely just kind of have developed mysteriously an interest in STEM? Who knew? And of course, if you do go the artist route, and they'll say, "Oh, well, the artist has always suffered. It's always been hard." What? Why do you think? If it's so wonderful and amazing, and that's why you see artists that make it, and you praise them, and you just bash, 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 idolize this, idolize that, vicariously live this, vicariously live that, this, those. Wow! And all of a sudden, you're part of the image that has become your image. That's how you see yourself in the world. There's all these stars, there's all these celebrities, and that's just the way it is. Wow. And it's just a big bash, and of course, then you get images and images that further just blast you into mystery about STEM because, wow, it's just so amazing. Wow. And of course, all the doctors are just cutting up and putting back people together and all this stuff, and people think it's amazing. It's amazing. And they're all for treatments and this, but never cures, never cures. And then the pharma industry is just pumping you relentlessly with all the solutions that somehow give you side effects you don't even know, and then all of a sudden it's just bash upon bash, bash upon bash, and of course people are making mad coin everywhere, from the lower levels to the whatever higher levels of mash. But of course, everyone is using the coin. The coin is the god. And somehow you think by just making everyone on one level, or just shuffling the coin here and there and there and then over there and here and up and down and over and up, and flip this coin and toss it and then bet this, that, those. Wow, what a shame. Or just relentlessly beg for more money. We need more money. Come on, give it to us. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Wow, what a shame. Victim to the 33rd degree power, and you are lost. And it just feels so good to just devote your life to try and get attention from the image that you worship, yet it defiles.
Generally, with the exception of entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship, if you have a business that really takes off, then you can beat the S.T.E.M guys.
Wow.
But for the most part, S.T.E.M comes out on top.
For the most part, it comes up top. Yeah. Ugh.
The countries that prepare their students the best in these subjects are likely to dominate economically in the future. You know, places like Hong Kong and China and India, Japan, Russia, those kinds of places. That's where the competition is at.
Who gives a damn? What is this? I mean, even if you think as the Earth as some cell, Gaia, or whatever, some rock in space, whatever, don't you think that who, who cares what all these. There's resources, okay? Wow, who would have thought there's quote unquote resources on Earth? Hmm. And of course, everyone's just mashing them up and turning them into little tiny things and bigger things and this and that. Wow, who knew? Yet, who knew that perhaps all of this just mash is like the relentless bashing against a wall that you don't even know exists? Wow. Wow. No, it couldn't be. It couldn't be. We're doing so much progress, and I'm just blasted with more light and more light every day. It's amazing. Wow, what a shame.
And Russia, those kinds of places. That's where the competition is at.
Right, guys, because remember, competition, competition. You're just hamburger meat smacking the wall, and you're picking yourself up and smashing it again. Competition, competition. It's relentless out there. You better pick up and go fight for yourself and go fill yourself with confidence, because confidence isn't there. You have to create it for yourself. Wow, what bash. What bash? Confidence is pride. Pride in what? Proud of what? Your image? What you can see and then come to just interpreting your mash bind, but according to all the mash, that you think you're learning from the world. Wow. Wow. Instead of seeing the life all around you, the life that you are living, yet somehow you think you have to go out there and mash to get it. Wow. Wow. What a shame.
And if Purdue is any indication, the Chinese are doing a very excellent job of educating their S.T.E.M students. An excellent job. And in
Oh, yeah. Excellent. Very excellent.
India as well. You might think from the get-go, well, I'm not really interested in that stuff, Dr. Brad, but keep an open mind, because S.T.E.M is a pretty big place, and there is probably some.
Oh, who knew STEM was the abyss? And of course, it's so amazing. It is the best thing that man has ever done. Because, yeah, all the other stuff, no, It's just art, this and that. You could just call art. I mean, all image that man can come to interpret based on what he believes. Wow, who knew it's the abyss? Man cannot save himself in his image. But of course, he's doing one hell of a job to make a pretty great one, if not the best one, because man feels he's so amazing. Despite all the little things, well, yes, we torture and this and that, but no, it's, it's, it, it's not the means to the ends, but the ends to the means, and what bash? I mean, relentless, just relentless. The lies one tells oneself, relentless. Because the lie one tells oneself is basically succumbing to the swarm. The lies, you don't tell yourself lies, you just behave. You behave according to what? The lie or the truth? Yes.
Something for you in here, for most people. Moving on. So, Brett, why do you hate baristas? You know, you have that sad barista guy on the front of the presentation.
Oh,
Why do you hate them?
who gives a
Why are you picking on
damn?
them, Dr. Brett? Well, the thing is, I don't. I don't have anything against baristas. There's nothing wrong with being a barista. Nothing morally wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. But there is, however, plenty wrong with being a college-educated barista. What does a barista do? They make coffee. They heat up sandwiches in the oven. They make fraps and lattes. They operate the blender. You don't need a college degree to do that job. And it's the same way with a lot of other low level jobs that nowadays.
Whoa, you don't need a call. And why do you think people are doing these jobs? Uh, There is, however, plenty wrong with being a college educated person. Shame on you if you're college educated and have been a barista. Wow. So, are you also going to tell, the person working at a bar as a waitress or a bartender, whatever, who's making a lot more money than if she even went to college, or while in college she's doing this, and whatever, this match is going out and going to college and also working at in the bar at jobs. Who cares what they are? They're working jobs that pay them money, and of course they might pick ones that they prefer or seem more fun, or to distract them, or it's so much fun. And of course they're gonna end up doing that than go to college because it just seems so worthless. And so you see all these people working at these places, which is just the swarm. I mean, it's the swarm feeding the swarm. It's a swarm, and just wow, the bash. And these educated people coming out of such programs realize, wow, there's no jobs in this field that I was promised that I could just follow and do whatever I want. It must be me. I must upgrade my resume and have just more things and more. I must prove myself under the light. To who? Man. Wow, what a shame. What a shame. What a shame. Who's your father? That's right, Satan. You have believed you are separate from the Father, the true living God. Wow, what a shame. Shame with working retail, janitorial work, or stocking shelves. Mathematically, may never be able to pay off their student loans. You don't think people know how to get high paying jobs that don't need whatever else? Bash. But of course, people are not going to usually hire people with a degree because they won't pay them more than minimum wage, perhaps. So I think this is what this person is talking about. They will never be able to pay off their, but they're not all. It's according to what they're willing to live like, what lifestyle they want. If they're gonna want a high, incomes lifestyle, of course they're gonna go for the fast paying, easy job. But if they don't give a damn, they might, go for a low paying job and just, whatever. People find a way to just numb themselves. Okay?
Require college degrees to get, such as working retail, janitorial work. If you can believe that, there's a lot of janitorial work that they want. They so many people have worthless degrees. They apply. They just require a college degree because it gets rid of so much of the riffraff.
The riffraff. Huh.
Or stocking shelves at Walmart. Um, and then plus you got to go six figures in debt to get this college degree. Something is seriously wrong there with the way the system is operating. And some of these people, these baristas, the retail
Yeah, something is wrong with this there, but no, what's this?
people, the janitorial staffs that have these big student loans, these jumbo student loans, based on their salaries, they can never pay off the student loans. It'll never happen. Their wages do not increase quickly enough. Their interest rate is too high, and they borrow too much. They just can't do it. And I don't want to see that happen to you. So you want to avoid that fate.
Wow. Wow. So instead, you're gonna send them to S.T.E.M, thinking that they're, oh yeah, I'm gonna get the money. Screw those other jobs. Yeah, that's for losers. No, you're the winner, right? Because you're gonna go for S.T.E.M. Yes, pave the way to space. Wow, who knew?
But another thing about baristas, I'm not their champion either. I really don't have much sympathy for them because they screwed up big time in life. There is a reason that they are college educated and working at Starbucks for around $9 an hour. I googled it. They make a barista makes between I think like $8.25 and $10.75 an hour. The problem is that their college
All
education
this stuff is
was
math. What is
worthless.
this?
It was
Look,
absolutely
no
worthless.
in-demand
Oh,
skills. It's all about skills, 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 skills. Upgrade your skills. Oh, what is that? What is skills? You want skills at the counterfeit life you just relentlessly bash your living life for? Wow, what a shame. Skills for what? There's only one overcoming. The flesh. Admit you're wrong. Return to the Father. See the truth and endure the flesh. Stay on the refuge of everlasting life. And guess what? When you so called die, when your flesh ceases to be animated, life everlasting continues with you. Yet, what you see is what you ritualize. The image you see will determine its resolve. Yes, it has been written in the book of life. They were miseducated, not educated. They are undeserving of raised pay.
in the 4 years, at least 4 years, they spent in school, they didn't develop any marketable skills. They don't possess any useful.
Exactly. You didn't learn this guy's basically saying you didn't learn, you didn't bash it enough into your head how to whore yourself out. You did not become a whore. You didn't whore whoreukate yourself. psychobabble. 4 years of Huffington Post talking points and psychobabble. Oh, wow.
knowledge, and if they were in the humanities or journalism sections of the campus, their education was just 4 years of Huffington Post talking points and a bunch of psychobabble. It doesn't add up to a hill of beans. It's a bunch of nonsense.
Wow. Because STEM is so amazing. Yeah. Wow. These people lose their minds when anybody talks about, any kind of challenge to their own belief system. Any because they say, how can somebody not see what I see? Wow. When that's actually their belief. They believe that everybody can hold hands and sing together and just rock themselves to sleep. Wow, what shame.
They didn't pursue any in demand skills. That's why they're working as a barista.
Oh,
They were miseducated. They were not educated. And no, I am not saying that they deserve a pay raise. If they were to, if the
they are undeserving, but he's gonna say because they chose a past career and didn't. So I mean, you stayed at that level. What's he saying?
skills they had were deserving of a pay raise, then employers would fight over them, and there
Wow,
would be a labor arms race in terms of salaries, and they would be competing over the best talent and for baristas. You don't
wow,
see that happening because their skills are really not in that high of demand.
what a shame. Who knew that a barista does exactly what some do in a lab? They do the same thing over and over again, this and that. Pipette this, smear that, look into something, into the abyss. Whoa, 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 whoa. Handle some solution here, other there. Filter this, filter that. Whoa, 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 whoa. Boil this, cool that. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Who gives a damn? Just because you think it's more elaborate and more sophisticated, say bash. What a shame.
All right. So, what makes a major worthless, Dr. Brad? Well, this is one of the main observations I take from Aaron Clary's book Worthless, and basically it's just purely economic arguments. It's not like there's some centralized authority somewhere in the government
Right, it's not that, guys. It's definitely not that. It's bluntly the free market.
that is deciding who's going to get paid what, and it's just deciding blanketly, oh, these majors suck. I'm going to make them worthless. No, there is no centralized body doing that. It
Oh, what a shame. He's saying if there was such a thing, why would they shut down things, and just make them worthless? Just like you're gonna, are you denying that funding goes equally to all research? Wow. But of course, no, that's not determined by, it's determined by the market, where the interested, where the investors are seeking. Wow, could it be that there is a particular orientation to the overall intended result of said research, technology, engineering, and the Harry Potter math to make it all just work together? Wow, who knew? It truly is retro engineering, meaning you're looking at the life, the relentless life, and you're trying to engineer it in your image. Wow, who knew? Wow, that's why it's STEM. I mean, it's STEM, it's stem cell research, all this stuff. The under a cell that can turn into anything. That's truly what they believe they are. Undifferentiated cell, okay? Whatever terminology they call it. And that, according to its quote unquote environment or its place, transforms and grows into whatever cell of flesh or whatever. Wow, wow, wow. Could it be that that's a bash that Satan worships? No, 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 no. Because, oh, you're not a Satanist. You just behave like one. Wow, who knew you could behave like a particular influence, even though you don't even so called believe in it? Wow. You don't believe in quote unquote Satanism, but you believe in the world. Wow. What a shame.
Bluntly, it's the free market doing that. And if the major was worth something, private entities would be willing to pay money for someone with that major. But you don't see that happening for a lot of majors, as we're going to see when we get to the slide that has the list of worthless majors on it.
Oh, here we
And
go.
the
What is
areas
that?
where you see people that they can actually make some serious money at a job is that it's usually in industries that are involved in the production of goods and services that people want to buy.
Okay, before the before this is usually in industries that are involved in the production of goods and services that people want to buy. Demand, right? Where's the research demand? And he's gonna say that's where. Wow, what a shame. And you don't think that they were bashed into think that certain things are the value because ultimately their value is corrupted. They have no idea what value and worth is, even though they say, "Wow, I know how much I'm worth." Wow. But you measure yourself against the world. You're constantly measuring yourself against the world. And that is a false image, meaning you are in God's image. Yet you see yourself as separate and create as though you're in your image. Wow. Who knew that life all around, wherever you see, what a sense and wow, could ever come to passion, just create little things and all these other things would come down to what you believe, meaning what is your allegiance? Who is your king? Who is your father? Wow, no. It has to be about, wow, these are just of guns and this, gasoline, ammunition, pure water. Wow, look at all these. The way light divides is relentless. Look at all these things. Of course, of course. Yes, yes. Wow. Bash.
Things like gasoline, guns, ammo, food, pure water, electricity, internet service.
Before it gets even worse, think of all the think of all the mothers out there who think, oh well, obviously most of them don't even question. They might disagree with certain education or certain schools, and they will choose the best one they like according to their image of what is around and what they even know is available. But of course, it has to be, you know, uh, respectable, and you'll do the research and this and that and the other. Wow, who knew it's just another method to defile? Because all the child needs is love and the truth. And the Father provided that. And of course, the parents must in the flesh. So that is why the head, the Father, must be the one to guide, stand in truth, and protect. Of course, the mother is there to relentlessly show her the intricacies of life and ultimately how to behave as the Father showed us. For what? To be undefiled, to endure the flesh. By overcoming it, because you will not endure, meaning survive or succeed if you do not overcome, you must overcome the flesh to endure it. So as you may have that, you see the life and you live the life that you know the Father giveth in you relentlessly. Wow. And to know, have certainty, the faith that yes, wow. How could, how could, they no longer even trying to figure out how it was that they were deceived because they forgive. Who knew? Who knew that forgiving once you see the truth is so amazing? Instead of just getting angry and this and that, wow, wow, and just going to bash and bash to revenge or somehow make everyone just on the same plane because yes, you finally brought the ones on top to the bottom, and then the bottom would just became more bottom. Huh. Or are you trying to go up and up? Yes, we brought everyone up. So where? So you can fall back down? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Wow.
Carbonated beverages, motor vehicles, and the list goes on. Just stuff that you want to spend money on. That's where the money is
And so what do people want to spend money on? Let's say there was no advertisements. What would people just spend their money on? On the things they already know how to spend them, perhaps, for a while. But then what happens if all the little electrical things just no longer seem to be alive? And what will you just spend all that money on? Of course, there's a relentless bashing through your skull so that you develop. And it's very sinister because you end up wanting things you never even knew that were exterior that went into it like a worm. And all of a sudden, your behavior is a certain thing, and you see it as just randomly this, and that, and wow, 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 this, oh, whoa, whoa. Wow. How sad. How very sad. Who knew the light deceiveth according to your image? Because, oh no, the, the world couldn't be that bad because I feel like I'm such a great person, and so then therefore every other person is just like me. Yes, it's just that they don't see. We just have to talk and talk and talk so that we can just say okay, you see like me, okay, you see like me, okay, you see. Oh, great. Oh, let's organize and just go out there and mash some more in the mash so that we can get more of the mash because we don't have enough of the mash, so we just want more mash to mash up. Wow, how sad.
at. So just ask yourself before you would decide to embark upon a degree path, a career choice, do some research on it.
Oh, how sad. It couldn't be that, wow, a kid is interested in this or that. But of course, they'll develop a further interest. So that's why they keep going up in levels and levels and levels. Wow. But the whole time, they're being told what they're seeing in that interest. Wow, who knew? Who knew? Who knew? And what interest? I mean, it's just a shadow of looking at the same thing. Life. Wow. Who knew? Who knew you could split it into just swarm, and then wow, the swarm would tell you back. Just murmur, murmur, murmur. And yes, it's in your image. Wow, you're so smart, and you're wow, 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 and you just speak it as though as you discovered something. Wow, and you discovered and you made it work. You made it work because it couldn't possibly be something. What manipulation? What? No, it could not. It could not be manipulation. No, no. It's it's just so real. Wow, who knew that you have self-awareness? So even though you see it, the life, you always have your image of it. That's why they say recreate your mind and recreate your life, because they go in there and tell you how you just have to ritualize your life, meaning just brainwash yourself into a new behavior. Yes, you can do it. Wow, who knew you could just match your brain and then you would just mash? Wow. Or that according to your behavior you essentially live a certain what reality, meaning to you a certain condition, and to you, well, the conditions can change. That's just like rearranging your living room and then patting yourself on the back and say, well, I picked up all the little garbage and I vacuumed, but it all just shovels here and there and over there. It's just I just made it look nicer. But what is it? Wow, what a shame.
Is the major I want to pursue involved in the production of goods and services that people want to buy? If it doesn't meet that test, if the answer is no to that, you probably should not get involved in that degree because
Wow.
it's just not going to pay off.
Oh,
Look on monster.com or any jobs website. There's also Glassdoor, Indeed, and LinkedIn.
right. Jobs. Things you do in exchange for whoring yourself, meaning the coin, getting the coin. You whore yourself for money. Even if you might say, oh, I love it so much. What do you love? You love yourself so much. And you love how much coin you're making in that love. Wow, who knew? And of course, people would say, oh, what's wrong with loving yourself? Wow. What's wrong with loving yourself means you don't know what love is.
LinkedIn. Look on monster.com or any jobs website and look at where the money is. Where is the big money at? What are the job requirements? What degree does that job require? Does it even require a degree? When I back in high school, when I was researching chemical engineering jobs, I would see on there this position requires a bachelor's in chemical
Oh, so then you just do according to what you're told to do. Wow, who knew?
engineering. This position requires a
But according to who? Man, yes, man. And you're going to say, well, who else? The only thing worth listening to is the Word of God, and it's everywhere. Just look around. The flesh is a purpose. And what do you see? Do you see the lie and live in it as it, with it? Or do you see the truth and use the wisdom of God to endure in the flesh? Because it's swarm. And you will be swarmed if you overcome it. Meaning, if you, because you can't have both feet straddling the line, meaning 1 feet in the world and somehow 1 feet in with the Holy Spirit. No, you cannot serve two masters. Either you serve the Father that will blast you into space to light, or do you follow the Father that only promises the truth to the life everlasting? Amen.
doctorate in chemical engineering. This position requires a master's degree in chemical engineering plus at least 5 years of experience. This is the kind of stuff you see on job postings. Then you got to ask yourself down here at the bottom, how much is it going to cost to get that degree? Because it's quite possible that your in-state school doesn't offer that degree program and you might have to go out of state, and then the cost just spikes up into the stratosphere.
Oh, who knew that there could be so many ways to just get bashed? Wow, who knew? And of course, people then get jobs and things that somehow are for the people, and they just go out there and fight for these people and this and that and wow, wow, wow. But of course, it takes money to this and that, so they have to take money from somewhere and somewhere. Wow, who knew? Who knew everybody's just out there to get a little bit of the piece of the pie that they promise you? But of course, it's false promise because it's Groundhog Day and you just relentlessly bash your head against a sharp corner. And then you wonder why you behave a certain ways. And then you try to go to counseling or you try to communicate and express with you your friends or your partner or your wife or this or your boyfriend or this or whatever. Shame. Just more bash. You're bashing each other, thinking you can help one another rise like a phoenix from the ashes. Wow, what a shame. Was it not men that have always just relentlessly what deceived and bashed each other? Wow, why? Oh, it's just the way men are. Well, they're so silly. They're just half ape. They're just all ape. Then had an ape father and just bashed him. We just bash codes left and right and center, up and down, and where, wow, whew. Yes, you believe in dust. Dust to dust.
You got to ask yourself, is it worth it? Is the amount I have to borrow, is it sane? Is the degree going to pay off? Like, will I be able to pay the money off? And a general rule of thumb is that you shouldn't borrow more than the first year starting salary the degree can get you. So
Oh, of course, all these little tit points. Yes, yes. Everybody knows that. Yeah. What shame. Just 'cause somebody knows how to ride the wave better that goes somewhere. What are you talking about? You're being murmured. Murmured and murdered. And yes, just because you can say I read so many books and then said so many things and just quoted so many other books and formed some mash thought and just wanted just did everything, found the right books to just prove my mash and just write more of the same and wow 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 all of a sudden I have all these thousands of libraries and blah 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 just for mash 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 mash. All just to defile further your image. Distort your image, meaning what you see. I see myself as exactly. I am exactly. All these things. I believe in what? I stand for. If not truth, then it's bash. And if you say it's truth, then what actually prioritizes the value of such truth that you speak of? Because it doesn't seem like you prioritize truth because your truth could be say some other truth, and the way you see it, fine, you can agree to disagree and have civil discourse. Mash. This is the result of believing everybody can be what they want and do what they want, and peace and love and harmony and all this mash. It's a spiritual battle to endure the flesh because it's a spiritual battle for your soul, meaning the lifeline to everlasting life with the Father who giveth life and show it to you relentlessly day in day out. But no, it's just 'cause we spin like a little marble, just mashing, 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 falling some other light and smashing. Wow, 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 to mash our abyss into the abyss. And that's where we are. We're gonna go to the abyss and multiplex and diversify and then meet our true galaxy family. Yes, and show them, wow, how we overcame. And we just joined the light slowly, fully. Yes, we just joined it. And the clown defileth floating with him just wherever it tells you to go. But no, it's your idea because you came up with it and you relentlessly just made little tiny things and made little tiny things and you just put light in them and wow, 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 and you believe you're light and wow, wow, now we can just match together with the little tiny things I made and wow, wow, wow. It's bosh. But then just solidifying your belief in yourself and in your image, in man's image and the image that man makes about where they're gonna go in the future, which is fantasy. Because the future is fantasy. You only have the life, day in, day out. Wow, who knew? Who knew? Who knew? What amazing. And it's a generative process that, guess what? Creates generations. Wow! And it's not about degrees because degrees are degrees of victimhood. Wow! Who knew that you could just get degrees in victimhood? Because now you go and get a bachelor and now you can say, oh, I'm a victim because I did this, and now I don't have something. Or I went and did this, and those people are victims and I must help them. Wow. Or just see division. Why do you see division? Because you believe you're separate from the Father who created you. Wow, what a shame. And even that he doesn't even exist. Wow. Who knew that that behavior, that way of living would destroy a person? Wow. But you say, no, I love my dad. He lives down the street. Wow. So you love the flesh more than you love the life. The life the Father is and forever will be. There's nothing new under the sun. He giveth life relentlessly. And the truth, do you see it? Or do you see the clown that just is so just colorful and oh, it's just so magical. Oh, oh, it's so funny. He's so funny. Wow, what a shame. Changing appearance, meaning the image. An image of how you then go and live. And who knew that that behavior does affect the light? The light cannot stand to see one that exists without worshiping the light and then renouncing it, saying, no, I am in the image of God, and my way is surely death, for I am nothing. I am flesh that turns to dust. Yet the Father has shown me the way back into life everlasting with Him, because I have chosen a way that defileth. Defileth what? The Holy Spirit. Life everlasting in the wisdom of the Father. Wow.
So if you shouldn't, if you can get like $50,000 starting with a particular degree, you shouldn't spend more than $50,000 total in pursuing the degree. That's a general rule of thumb. So here's the slide of just worthless majors. These are majors that just they don't pay off. And when I say worthless
Oh.
here, I don't mean that they have no social redeeming value. Some of them don't have any social redeeming value.
Oh, some of them are purely directly linked to maintaining the status quo, the image of the status quo. They need to fill the people to play the characters. Who knew? So that then you would believe in it more. Wow, who knew? Who knew it's just like a big play, theatrical, where there's just so many characters and character developments, and wow, there's a rises and downs, and wow. Who wrote it? because it's all of this is man. Who knew that there was a book of life? Such a thing. Wow.
value. But in
And man certainly did not create himself into existence. So, wow. Instead, you believe in a light smash that just was nothing and something and all and nothing in multiplexes of verses. Wow. Wow. That followed some sort of ordained, predestined perfection. Hmm. But no, your lust for remnants in the flesh has just seduced you into believing things like the multiverse that then say, well, that would explain how everything's just so fine tuned. Wow, what a shame.
economic terms, as far as paying your bills and keeping your fridge full and the lights on and the phone working, they are worthless. These are things like gender studies. This is probably the worst offender on the list. The only thing you can do with a gender studies degree is to become a professor of gender studies. It's worthless. All
Of course you believe that because you probably went to school when there wasn't such a course. So now that you see it, you don't understand that the mash has been mashing, and now the children actually see this as a worthwhile class. And why? Because they believe so much in human rights. Who knew? Who knew that that's the bash that we were bashed with, and now we create more bash? Who knew? Who knew we create more of the same? Who create? We are the ones that behave and give us exactly what we deserve. Who knew? But instead, you're gonna bash the course and this, and just say, stay, don't take those courses. Still go to school, but don't take these. No, there's a underplaying hand. Okay, that people say, oh, you know, it's the invisible hand. This is Satan. Okay, and Illuminati. This nothing. The illuminated ones are the ones who believe in light and that come to be seduced, okay, seduced by the light. That's the order of the so-called illuminated ones. And who knew that yes, they could convene, but you don't need to convene all the light, just some point of light, right? Oh, who knew? But then, of course, you're part of that pyramid because you are light. You believe in the light, so therefore you're part of the pyramid. You're part of the pyramid of light. Who knew? Who knew? Who knew that the top is light? The I of importance, the third person I, me, the the sun, because you're gonna blast and you're gonna get so much energy from it, and just blast, and just go through the sun to your galactic family. Wow, what a shame. I
they
mean,
learn is
this
a
is
bunch of
I don't know how much more of this. I don't even want to finish it, but it's all. I feel like I must.
nonsense. Psychology. I remember when I was at the University of South Florida, it seemed like, I mean,
Oh, psychology major. Yeah. Do you think maybe psychology at one point was important to teach so that people would start just doubting more and then studying more about this doubt that they were just doubting and doubt and then just mash people experiment this. It was psychology. Who knew? Mash could study more. Mash to mash some more. I mean, what is this? Social justice, theater studies, film school, probably economics, business degrees. Wow. Yet all these were important at one point, or people that went in there because they believed in some sort of mash. And so who knew that they wanted to study all these things? Who knew? And who knew that they would actually be so-called skills for making certain coin, because who knew that these could be employable characters to have an effect, an intended effect. of the light, an interpretation. But you needed people to do it. And so how do you convince people to do it? Well, you tell them to go build this and build that, and then you do this and that, and then you can make these people write this and that. It's all about creating the story and perpetuating the story of man in his own image according to his history and his just according to man's just image, how man sees himself in the world, and then create a purpose in it meaningful to him, because apparently he created himself. Hmm. Or he came from a bash ape that just walked out of the water somehow and just matched with other apes that were just like them and find some other bash apes, and wow. And your father ape was Lucifer. Wow, who knew? Amazing.
I mean, it seemed like a third of the campus was pursuing a psychology degree. And I don't know why. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of head cases here in America.
Who knew that now that there's a stronghold, now they're just slashing all of this. Slashing. Yep, okay, we've done it, guys. Now, um because look at how there's still people that have interest and they would be willing to pay for this. There is demand. There's just no money in those fields because they're not getting the money they used to from the artery of, you guessed it, the swarm. Whatever the fractal part of it has many names, many faces, okay? So everybody thinks that they're so self-important because they're going into all these fields, but guess what? In the future, they're going to mean nothing. Wow, who knew? Who knew you could just turn to dust and be forgotten? That's why people want to leave legacies and be remembered and this and that and become famous and whoa, 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 change the world. Wow, what bash. The world changes you, meaning it defileth you and makes you beat the life relentlessly out of you by believing in it in this mash. Wow.
But we don't need that many psychologists. And we certainly don't need that many with only 4-year credentials.
Because all of this is knowledge. All of this, even though he's saying worthless majors now, all of this is knowledge. So you're telling people just go for a different type of knowledge, because we told you to go for this knowledge at some point, maybe a couple of generations before, or who knows? Maybe people still do. Who knows? But it's just okay. We'll let everybody believe they're doing something. As long as you believe you're doing something that's somehow perpetuating you, blasted forward into some better position for yourself. Wow. Then of course, you're just the perfect little whore. The perfect little whore behaving. And of course, you can rebel once in a little while, but ultimately, you'll come to your senses and just keep on working, because you know that you're not supposed to bite the hand that feeds. Otherwise, you'll just be marginalized and kicked down and shamed for not being part of the world and not having the confidence and pride to just push yourself forward and accept the light. Accept the light and blast into the future. And come back and tell us how to make the pavement to get into space, because we could certainly drive there if we just pave the way to space. Yes, let's do it. Amazing.
If you want to pursue a degree in psychology, you have to, or a career in psychology, you pretty much have to go all the way to a PhD. And that's a pretty bad proposition for a career path.
Wow. Whoa. So, guys, don't go and get PhDs in any of these things, because you're wasting your time. Wow. You're wasting your time if you even spend another minute thinking or having this be the way you see the world. What is this? People that go into these things think they're actually going to go out there and change, because they know something is wrong. But it's almost like this feeling they have of, wow, it's just so unfair and everything just seems so wrong. And oh, why can't we just hold hands? Wow, what shame. Could that not be just a living life relentlessly calling out to you? What are you doing? But no, you're so confused and oh, I feel it's just so sad. Oh, why me? 33 degrees of victimhood. Wow, who knew? Who knew? And so, of course, now you just bash and bash, and you're going to tell yourself you love. You just haven't been loving yourself because you've been wanting others to love you. So you just got to blast yourself full of love and love and love and swell and swell. Wow.
And also, psychology is there's a lot of doubt as to its worth as a field of study, as a legitimate field of study, when it's in the midst of a replication crisis.
Oh, meaning AI. Uh, wow. Or just what are you saying? That you're being replaced? Or replication means replicating it. So what are you saying?
One of the fundamental tenets of science is that if a researcher should be able to reproduce your results if they follow your steps. It
Okay, so he's saying, well, how you actually
shouldn't matter
reproduce
what.
the study. Is there issues with people being able to reproduce the same study and have the same results? Wow, it's just so. Are you saying we don't really understand? What are you saying?
Else they do. If they follow your steps, they should get the same result. Psychology, there's a lot of problems with that. They don't get the same results. So is it really
Oh, yet you just believe in stats and all this nonsense. Just just complete bashed mind, of course. There I'm sure once people actually sit down and look at all the bash and how things don't add up, they don't. Because they don't have to. Because as long as you believe it, you're not even going to see it. You're not even going to see its flaws. You're not even going to see anything wrong with it. Instead, you're going to try to fix it according to your image of the bashed vision you have by the bash that the vision you thought you were seeing was bashing you with. Wow. It's just a relentless, fractal bash, the light smashing in and out, just bashing you. So, do you just see the light and believe you're the light? Or is there something else? What image are you living? Whose image? And you say, well, I don't, my beliefs, according to what? Your values. Where'd you get your values from? The world. Things that you learned, were educated with from the world. Whose word do you say it? Man's words. According to man's ways to see the world that you have accepted fully as your life, what you call life. So, of course, all of these things are part of the story of life, according to you, and without them, they're, I mean, can you imagine if psychology was deemed uh, false? Wow. People would lose their minds. What? Don't take my ethnic studies away because it's false. What? So all of a sudden, if this just disappears, now you're not what you think you know? What's going on? Wow. Or are we losing something? Wow, it's just a big mess, just more confusion. So of course, I mean, it's just so sensitive. That's why I must stay the same, but just don't go into these things because they'll eventually just, manage and die. Because of course, it's all about manipulation, all for keeping you away from the truth. Meaning the ways of the world are surely death, the abyss forever and ever. Why? Because you believed in the abyss and you return to it when you cease to be animated. as you understand the flesh to be.
Really a science anymore. Well, I'll let you decide that. You can do your own research on that. Ethnic studies, this is things like African American or Black studies or Latino studies, Asian studies, blah, blah, blah. It's a bunch of nonsense. It's more of the same with gender studies.
Yeah, because who knew that racism doesn't exist? It's just people. Just a bunch of, guess what? Sons and daughters of God that have either succumbed to the lie or endured the lie with the truth. The lie, meaning the relentless murmur to believe in the lie, to keep you from knowing the Father that stands with truth, and the life He relentlessly gives you and shows you is for you everywhere. Yet you go and reject it anyway and live your own life however which way you want according to the whims of your desire and passion and lust and ambition and pride and wow, what shame.
It's just a bunch of Democratic Party talking points masquerading as a degree. And you cannot get a job with it other than being a professor of ethnic studies.
And who knew that the world is just consuming all these people right now? You can't get enough of these experts to tell you what to believe. So these people did play a big, are playing a big role in the lie. But no, it couldn't be. Everybody's just learning so much about their own kind and wow, 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 and then see the difference and wow, 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 and culture this and brainwash this and brainwash that, splash that, spread this, blah, blah, blah. Wow, who knew?
That's all you can do with it. And maybe, possibly, uh, if you get enough of a following, you can write books for a living, be an author, if you can get it as big enough of an audience. But that's
Okay, isn't the same thing gonna be for the STEM jobs? And no, you're gonna say, oh no, because there's gonna be so much opportunity that we're just gonna be developing technology at such blah, 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 blah. Sure, sure. Isn't that what they told business degrees people? There's gonna be so much opportunity. Just same story, just repeats itself over. Relentless, Groundhog Day. Why? Could it be that the swarm's interest is always the same? To kill, steal, and destroy, just devour the weak, or those who willing will give their life for the swarm to get rewarded in the flesh. With power and lust for glory and some sort of love of yourself that's relentless and you just can't get enough of it. And wow, how is that actually quote unquote changing the world to quote unquote how you want it to be? It's actually an active ingredient to defile it further. Wow, it couldn't be. It couldn't be. Wow, what a shame.
very doubtful because who wants to read about that nonsense? Very few people. Literature.
Oh, very few people want to read it, yet somehow it's defiling you regardless. Wow, you can't see it though. You cannot see it.
Literature of any sort. This is foreign language literature, English literature. Uh, that's
Okay,
not to say there is no worth in literature, but as far as pursuing it as a career, there is no value in it. There's no
okay, this is
economic
just more
value.
bash.
I mean, if you
What is
like
this?
Emily Bronte or Charlotte Bronte, why not just go down to the library and check out the works of Charlotte or Emily
Oh,
Bronte?
right, because then you can just tell yourself the same bash.
If you like Oscar Wilde, just go read his poetry on Bronte or anything like that. I go to church, I read the Bible, but as
Oh,
far as pursuing it as a career, I mean, there's a reason that priests take a vow of poverty. They can't make any money at
Oh.
that.
Who goes into religious studies thinking they're going to make money to begin with? Oh, what's this person talking about? Oh,
Okay, there's no money there. People with the
of
criminal
course,
justice
because the bottom line is all about money. Just all about money. All about money. Or just be a humble Buddha and just pick one of these and live a little humble life. Wow, how sad. As long as you get a little piece of the pie, that shows that you're humble. Wow, what a shame.
background. They don't care about that. I mean, you can look on YouTube and just Google like getting hired as a cop, and there are cops that will tell you on
Okay,
camera,
who gives a damn?
philosophy is automated, considered art,
Oh, it's still.
all that
Oh, so
stuff.
the whole
When you
video
get
is
when you
him
go to film
going through
school,
all
you get a
this.
piece of
Oh,
paper. It's
what a
worthless.
shame. I thought he was gonna.
Theater studies is the same thing. Social justice is worthless, and political science that's also totally worthless.
Oh, who knew that the world rewarded in legion ways? Okay, some people will adore the fame and could give a damn about money. Some people will adore uh just self valor, and so will be around just people just to get that self worth. I mean, there's so many things, but it's all comes down to the split. You feel divided. You feel split. Something's always missing. You always this, that. But somehow you're just relentlessly told to just feel grateful and just realize there's some things you know and some things you don't know. But just go out there and be the best you can be. But you have to determine what that purpose is. Wow, what a shame. Could not be that the purpose is the flesh and you must overcome it. Because everything and anything you could ever come to filter is in the image of God. And so how are you behaving around it, with it? How is that reflecting back to you in what you see, your image, as far as what is being revealed to you to guide you as you walk in life? Wow, who knew? Wow, who knew?
Unless you go to like an elite school like Harvard or something, where you can get a well-connected
So,
sinecure in the
whatever this
government.
bash is going to say,
And
oh, this honorable mentions chemistry, biology. Oh, he couldn't wait. Molecular biology, biomedical sciences, biochemistry. These degrees are really hard, but the pay is crap, usually. Might be stuck teaching high school. Pays like crap, huh? There is a serious disconnect between the skills that are desired and what the colleges teach for these degrees. No, there's no disconnect. It could not possibly that it's with intent. Wow. Just because people believe in basic goodness and therefore it's a shock to them when somebody could do something that's against their own image. Wow. Yet you promote do as thou wilt and be whatever you want and do whatever you want. Oh, as long as just treat others how you want to be treated. Wow, when a child grows up just seeing hypocrisy, 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 why do you think a child rebelleth? Because he says, I don't want any of that. But of course they're just gonna bash out because they don't have guidance. They're rebelling because they never had the guidance. Because it was all just hypocrisy to them. Because the life was saying to them, what are you doing? And so then they fully give in to the swarm and go out it and create according to their own image, but usually resulting in, not usually, always resulting in defilement. But then you blame your parents and then you have a bash and bash and bash. But then you then say, well, I need my child back. And then you soul retrieve and just go and overcome the trauma of your past and all this nonsense. But you don't even believe in the past. So what are you doing? It's all just forgive. It's about forgiving. Forgive.
And what the free market
Basically, get a PhD or go broke. Treated like a slave during PhD, of course. Yeah, I mean, this person says, "Oh yeah, stop the bullying and the kids, all the kids." Wow, who knew that the pyramid of light is a whole process of bullying, a whole process of bashing, all with a promise of maybe some bashment that is just so beautiful and mysterious and just so full of good feelings. Wow.
desires. So we got chemistry, biology, molecular biology.
Okay, who knew that things, all these things are now what people believe? Okay? So, of course, now that why would you need to keep doing this if you already believe? It's almost like saying, I mean, eventually it's like, oh, stop preaching to the choir. I mean, come on, we know it. Come on. Can't we just learn new things? There's nothing new under the sun. Nothing new under the sun. Just because you see different things according to your image, and then have a way to disperse that into the light that then feeds back to you into your image of feeling good about the light and what you see back and how you see your place in it. And yes, I'm gonna be rocked to sleep every night. Yes, because you just feel so good in it. You want to okay. Basically, everyone just wants to feel good in the moment and not see the truth in the moment. No, they want to feel good in the moment. That's that's what people want. They want to feel good. They want to feel good, but what does that even mean? Because even to them, it's just chemicals bashing in and up and around in their brains and out in their. So why don't you just hook up a drip line to your veins and then just pump those chemicals in? Because you're gonna say, well, no, because then that wouldn't change anything. Well, then why do you want to feel happy? Why do you want everyone around you to just be happy? Why can't we just hold hands? Well, yet order out of chaos, right? What does that even mean? Order. Over who? No. It's not for man to have order over anyone. It's to recognize what they serve. Death or life. Meaning the worship of life everlasting through the Father, and the way, the truth, or do you worship death? The fear of death always making you just behave according to the way you behave because death is just you want to fill your life with also purpose and do this and that just so you can do it all before you die. Wow, what a shame.
Biology.
No wonder people think it's a tragedy when, children die. It couldn't be that life showeth what you do, what you behave. It couldn't be that life relentlessly shows what is and shows the truth. You just won't look at it. And you will call it other names. And you will call it other things. And you will call other ways to so called better yourself or ourselves. All leading you further and further away from the life that just is and relentlessly gives it to you. You're doing nothing to be alive. And you say, oh, it's just my match little cells, and that's why I have to take care of them. This or that. Who knew? Who knew that? Yeah, if you bash the flesh, it will bash. So who knew that even if you bash cells and stuff with all these chemicals and stuff, what? And they die or just don't work anymore or work differently. Who knew? It's still being, it's still life. I mean, it's still just relentless everywhere. What are you talking about? What giveth life? That's right, the Creator who created us. Yet we thought ourselves, we split through self awareness, becoming self aware from the split of the split. The fall of the grace of God to live through our image, meaning without the wisdom of God, and now with the wisdom of man, because we ate from the tree of knowledge, which of course is there because how could there be no knowledge? I mean, could it be that that's the ordinance? Yet no, we must go and find it because we created ourselves. We did not have a creator. We created ourselves, and then we're digging and smashing light and just exploring to say what we create, how it was, and this, and where we're going. Wow, what a shame.
The biomedical.
And I'm gonna stop it there because this is just bosh. Where's the money at? Okay, I mean, of course you can say engineering. Yeah, engineering your mind, bashing you. What is this? IT, programming, boot camp. Yes, go. Get skilled up. Trades, possibly. Trucking, medicine. Who knew just trafficking? The currency of the flesh would be amazing. Wow, who knew? Uh, Probably hybrid with GPA. What is it? Whoa. Just get a higher GPA. Yeah. No, bash.
There is no economic demand for that degree.
Where are all these people going uh and getting jobs? Where are all these people going and getting all these jobs? They're just relentless out there. Could it be that first there has to be a brainwashing so that there's a so-called interest in the so-called market so that then you can just open up the floodgates? What is this? It's just so predictable. It's like a conveyor belt that's just gonna come and smash. What are you saying? It's all to keep you away from the truth. Why can't it be so simple? No, it couldn't be. It needs to be this and 50 to 70K starting because I want to buy more things and just have a good life and give my kids the life I never had. Exactly. Because you were void of the Father's love. You did not see it and you did not have that be the only thing you feel. Wow, who knew that that's the only thing to feel? The love of the Father that you relentlessly go out and seek in the world. And that could not possibly be the reason why defiling is what the sufferings of the world is. Why? Because there's no way to life everlasting without exactly knowing the way, the truth in the life. What is all this?
Take a real, and you might be there, man. So why the trades, Dr.
Why
Brett? Well,
trades? Why? Because there's going to be a blast of people just building the pavement to its pace. Who knew?
I admit I don't know much.
Okay. There's always gonna be builders. Who do you think makes the things? The little tiny things and the big things and the little and the big things and the little and the big things. Wow, sad. And the big
Home.
things are the trades, welding, plumbing, houses, skyscrapers, you name it. But even then, people think they're, moving to a different kind of building. Ooh, If the goal is the make money, haha, he made a typo. If the goal is to, he put if the goal is the make money. He bashed the guy at the beginning for saying, "Oh, he has typos and this and that." Wow, sad. The trades are better than my PhD. Exactly, because they're probably making more money than you are. So why should STEM then be? We say, well, because you might be more satisfied. Blah blah blah. Wow, who knows?
But
Who
I'll tell
cares?
you how much a plumber charges. First of all, I'll end with this. But
Why not the military? I just don't feel good suggesting a career path to someone that could get them killed. Wow. But if you like shooting guns and blowing up stuff, it might be not a bad idea. Paid college. Of course. What is this? So to him, the military is just guns and blowing up stuff. Wow. Wow. The swarm is fully defiling. Just think. It could not be that it's a spiritual battle where you're actually getting bashed and then living your life through that image. Wow, who knew? Because apparently it just tells you, it tells you it couldn't be, what you see couldn't be wrong. Admit you're wrong, but no, you're too proud. Of course you are.
if you like shooting guns and blowing up stuff, and he's doing pretty well, to save me a lot of grief.
Oh, of course, his book, Balancing Act, The Young Person's Guide to a Career in Chemical Engineering. Ah, cheap. 49. You can even afford it even if you're poor. Link is in the description. What is this? Bashed. Harry Potter magic with the blood, and that's a balancing act. Yes, it all is because you're balancing yourself against the world, which is a false. That's why there's no justice because it's a false balance. There's no counterweight. There's no counterweight. The earth is everything. Heaven and earth created by God, and you are deceiveth by comparing yourself to a false level, through a false level that you see as some distortion when it was there the whole time, relentless. Yet you succumb to the swarm that relentlessly promised you and tickled you and gave you all the things that you wanted according to how much you convinced yourself you loved and had love and fell out of love and came in and out and out and in and out and in. Wow, what shame. Return to the Father. Forgive. Repent. Overcome the flesh. Yes, those are the Father loveth you so much. He gave you life. And according to how what you see it is sure suffering. But if you admit you're wrong and stand in the truth and have the word of God that shows you his wisdom and reveals to you, yes, reveals to you what? Whatever it is that you're trying to find in all these things to then somehow go out there and mash and teach others and learn more and this and because knowledge is power. Wow. Who knew that definition of knowledge is power? Because those who apparently don't have it or think it's important don't have the power in the game that controls it or at least administers it because it doesn't surely control it because life is relentless. Life provides relentlessly, and it's only this counterfeit illusion that has all these things, institutions and programs and this, that have an appearance of some sort of control and some sort of influence that you see as wonderful and yes, 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 but ultimately it's a headpiece that just they're pyramids. All these are pyramids that, of course, they're gonna reward the top propellers, and they're the ones that will make sure to just go out and get exactly where they want it, which is where defilement. And of course, it has to just, the trick always has to get better because you're used to seeing the same old tricks. So just they have to make the tricks always better. So of course they're gonna have different programs and different ways to see the world, and they're gonna test you the temperature, and they're gonna turkey base you until you just say yes, more. Wow, what a shame. Abandon your pride. It surely is destruction.